there. Oh my God, I don't know how I did that. So, what did I do today? I learned something already. I learned if the computer's not working, try the phone. One of my friends, Jennifer, told me to try the phone anyway, so gonna find my peace since I just ran around and did all that craziness trying to get on today for our Sunday morning church in our metaphysical adventure. So, if you're here, welcome. I can't see names scrolling. I've never done Facebook Live on my phone before, so it's an experiment, Lord willing. It's going to come out fine, and you will be able to enjoy our time together. So today, because it's Sunday, we're going to relax and just take some time to get grounded. So what I want you to do is I'm going to play a song. And it's a song that's very special to me. And it's one of the reasons why I am doing what I'm doing with our metaphysical journey. So I'm going to play it, and what I'd like you to do at this time is to just kind of take a breath and relax, and oh, you know what? I just realized I can't play the song. If I play the song, they will make me take it down because it's copyrighted. Duh. Well, that was a good last minute thought anyway. So far, I only have one ding on that, so I'm a little echo. But the song was called If We Hold On Together. And you can look that up on YouTube. It's from a movie called The Land Before Time, I believe. And what it tells us is how important it is for us to hold on together. And during this time, that is so true because we are going to come through it as long as we hold on together. So I will ask you to take a minute and take a deep breath, release. Try to let go of any busyness, tension. Peace. Be still. We think of the scripture that says, "Oh, how good and pleasant it is when friends come together in unity." And that unity is Unity Church, but it's not just Unity Church. We know that unity respects all faiths, and we are very grateful for it. So we're going to get started now with our service, and I have a little prayer. First of all, the daily word for today is power. We're going to be talking about power in just a minute. But the prayer that I would like to share with you today is from the Aztecs. So bear with me a second. I'm thinking maybe it doesn't work myself out this morning. Maybe God wants me to do a different one. Let me see what happened to that prayer. Well, fine then. I just saw another one that'll work every bit as well. I think it's really a perfect prayer for where we are right now. A lot of times, like that television show used to say, Father knows best, sometimes God knows best. This is called the Psalm of Cosmic Communion, and it is from a book called Prayers for the Planetary Pilgrim. Isn't that kind of what we are, especially today? This says, I join you in cosmic congregation of galaxies as you dance with delight before our God. You spin and leap with brilliant bursts of light, never tiring of your sacred circle play. May I join you, star children of countless constellations, in the worship of our common Creator, in your rotating rituals of nuclear energy, as you sing cosmic chants of divine fire. May I join you, I who find my times of devotion so often flat and lifeless, bound by routine and uninspired, stagnant due to their lack of zeal. I join you so that my prayers may also spin in with sparkling splendor, spawning long tales of luminous devotion to carry my praise and adoration straight to the heart of our beloved God. I like that. When we think about the galaxy being so much greater than each one of us as individuals, we remember that, remember the picture that the astronauts had sent back, the picture of the planet. And that's another song that I love, which is called From a Distance. There was actually an online discussion about that song where some people didn't want to think of God as a distance. But I don't mind, because I can easily see God in you, in me, and even at a distance, because that's how great God is. But it says in that song, you know, From a Distance, it said, from a distance, the world is blue and green. You know, there's no divisions. There's none of the stuff that we make so small. We make the universe so small. We do it with our minds. But today, let's look at the bigness of the universe. Let's look at how wonderful it is. As we're looking at the universe as bigness, I would also invite you, on the news today, I heard something I really was excited about sharing, that you can take, they're inviting us to make hearts, to cut out paper hearts or however we make them, and draw them, paint them onto our windows or doors. And anytime that anyone sees a heart on their door, they will know we're giving thanks to the healthcare workers that are out there taking care of us. So I am very excited to have a heart on my door. I invite you to put a heart on your door, a heart on your window, put it somewhere to let those healthcare workers that are out on the front lines of this situation to take care of us and literally to save our lives. So that's one thing we can do. Today I want to talk about healing. And the Unity movement started with the healing of Myrtle Fillmore. She's one of the co-founders of the Unity movement, which I am a part of. Myrtle had tuberculosis, or a tuberculosis type disease, and she was failing. Yet she and Charles, her husband, had been studying New Thought and regular traditional religion. They looked at everything. And at one point she heard a man named E.B. Weeks say, I am a child of God, therefore I cannot inherit illness. Isn't that beautiful? Well, she prayed and she was healed. Doesn't that sound wonderful and quick and easy? But it wasn't like that. Myrtle Fillmore's healing took 2 years of long time, hours every day in prayer and affirming the healing scriptures of Jesus. So, it's not like it's a snap and it just happens, but it can be done. Isn't that amazing to think that it can be done? Now, I know that probably sounds kind of far out, and I did tell you one day that I would like to share about my healing. What happened for me, it literally was an instantaneous, kind of, I would say, miraculous healing. I had something wrong I don't know, people call it sciatica. There was something in my hip. Oh my goodness, I couldn't, like to slide into the seat of the car. I couldn't do that. I couldn't do anything. And I had started to limp pretty significantly. People would ask me about it. And one day I thought, you know what, why don't they just put me in the hospital and put me in traction or something? And that was like within days, I went to a workshop at the church I was attending. It was back in the 80s. This was very big. It was called breathwork. So this was a prosperity breathwork workshop. I thought that sounded pretty good. Can't we all use prosperity? So I went. And as a part of it, they asked us all to lay down on the floor, and they put a little pillow under our knees, and we were laying there, and we were listening. Now, I was very new to Unity at that time, and I thought, this is too weird for me. I don't know if I can deal with this. But I followed the instructions. But as I was following those instructions, because I was so uneasy, because they said, I thought it was weird, So what I did is I talked to God during it, and I said, okay, God, I don't know what's going on here, but I am listening primarily to you. If there's anything this person says that is not right for me, let me know. And so I went back to the meditation. As a part of it, I had my hands on the floor. So I'm laying on the floor, a little pillow under my knees, and I got my hands down. Well, my hands started to come up off the ground. This is the God's honest truth, I swear to you. And the lady who was conducting the workshop would walk around the room, and she saw my hands up, and she pushed it down, and she went around and she pushed the other hand down, and by the time she came back around the circle, my hands were back up again. I was just kind of going with the flow. She came over and she put my hand down, and then she put my other hand down, and as she walked away, my hands came back up. And I said, I'm not going to let her put my hands down again, so I just turned around and leaned my hands right here on my hips, and they didn't come up again. However, when the meditation was over and we were told we could get back up, the pain was gone and has been gone to this day. It never came back. Make of it what you will. Now, I was even afraid to say something to her because I didn't want anyone to think, oh, look, somebody has this great miraculous experience. Because you know how often there are some people, it's not very nice of me maybe to say this, but it seems like every miraculous thing that could ever happen happens to them. I didn't want to be one of those. I didn't want to be arrogant. But I'll tell you something. So she said to me, I did tell her, and I did tell everyone, and she said, well, that sounds like you've got healing power in your hands. And she said that I should have a few more sessions to make sure it doesn't come back and to learn to focus this energy. And I didn't go back, but the pain never came back. But I think we all have healing power in our hands. And I think probably the most important thing I did that day was I gave myself to all that is good. I just said, okay, God, you're in control here. That's not me. I didn't do magic on myself. It's not magical. It's metaphysical, that there's something spiritual. It's more mystical. So that's why I do not deny that healing is possible. And I have many friends who did have miraculous healings from cancer, from just all kinds of things. So it is happening. Healing does happen. And I think we have to let that happen. Now, since that time has come, I've gotten sick, I've broken things, I've done different things. But I've maintained that healing and had smaller occasions of it as it goes along. Can it happen for you? I absolutely believe it. I absolutely believe it can happen for me. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm going to go around and say, I don't care about any coronavirus, man, I can't stand it in this house anymore, and, bug out. Because when I get in my car, I put my seatbelt on. Now, I don't put I put it on because it's the smart thing to do. A lot of people won't wear their seatbelt because they say, what if my seatbelt, I get in an accident and my seatbelt gets stuck and I can't get out, you know? And I actually had that happen to me. I was in an accident, oh God, 25 or more years ago, and I got hit on the driver's side. I got hit hard. The car wound up like it looked like a fortune cookie, and I could not move my seatbelt. Now the guy who hit me actually got out of his truck, came over, unlocked the passenger door, which thank God was not locked, flipped in and cut the seatbelt, you know, and pulled me out. So yeah, things can happen. You can get stuck. On the other hand, you've got a greater chance of being okay by putting on your seatbelt than not. Now I have people who say, oh, I affirm I'm not going to be in an accident. The light of God surrounds me, etc., and I'm not going to be in an accident. Well, I don't think that. I think that our you know, remember we talked yesterday about our life as a gift from God, and what we do with it is our gift to God. How we treat ourselves is our gift back to God. Well, I treasure this, so I put on my seatbelt. The other thing is, for those who don't like to wear a seatbelt, understand, if you're in an accident and you don't have your seatbelt on, and there's other people in the car, you then become a dangerous projectile. So by putting your seatbelt on, you are protecting them as well as yourself. So as we stay in when other people are running out, when they're taking chances or doing some of the ridiculous things people have been doing, they're taking a chance not only with their own health, but with your health. So if you know anybody's doing it, you might want to, you know, point out that that's not such a good thing. There is starting Monday, I'm going to go into some of the metaphysics about the lower and higher levels of consciousness, which I call the 4 quadrants of consciousness. Now, I don't want to go into that today because it's deeper. I want to kind of relax today, but I would like to tell you that each one of us has a lower and a higher state of consciousness. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. Now, if we're not awakened to that yet, we tend to live as human beings who have occasional spiritual experiences, okay? So I like to feel I am awakened, that I am a spiritual being having a human experience. That doesn't change the fact that I'm human. Ugh, isn't it hard to be human sometimes? Ugh. What happened was, in the past week, now since Wednesday, it's only been since Wednesday that I've been doing this, I poured so much into what I was doing with you that feeds me. Don't get me wrong, being with you to this morning, and even if you watch later in the day, is so important to me. But what I did is I poured a lot into it. I poured so much time and energy, and then learning how to upload and everything, that I wound up not taking care of myself. And what happened was the drain of energy that I experienced took me from my higher state of consciousness, God-centered, grounded, and it brought me down. My energies were depleted. It was like when your car is running out of oil. Now I'm not going to say gas this time, I'm going to say oil, because I have a very personal experience. When I was a kid and I would drive, wherever I was going, I tended to not take really good care of my car. Like we would put I would put 50 cents worth of gas in the engine, and I would drive to the beach and back. That's from New Britain, Connecticut to Madison, Connecticut, which was take about 40 minutes today. I would do that on 50 cents worth of gas both ways. I also didn't understand about changing oil. You're going to hate you when you hear this, you're going to think I'm crazy. So what I would do, this is terrible. I deserved anything I ever got from it. When the oil thing would come on in my car, I'd step on the brake, splashing the oil that was left around in the car, okay? Not a good idea. But what happens is it's not only that the oil was splashing a little bit and making the car continue to not burn up, but also the dirt that was in the oil, the residues from the oil it's not a good thing. So kind of that's what I did to myself is I drained myself, I depleted myself to the point where I got crabby. Oh, and I was so human. Gosh, not only did I get crabby, I got tense. And I wound up, I was online, and I think it was after 5 o'clock, so I shouldn't have been online because we remember that's my Lenten thing, is 5 o'clock I quit Facebook. Well, I was online, and a friend posted something, and I posted just a really angry response, and I felt so bad about that. Then I had to spend some time forgiving myself for being human and replenishing my tanks. That included being kind to myself, loving myself, going to bed early, stopping the negative self-talk. Oh, I'm so embarrassed. How could I call myself a minister? How could I call myself a... Do you ever do that kind of self-talk? That's not healthy. So when we find we have slid down into the lower consciousness, what we want to do is take a deep breath and lift ourselves back out. Take care of yourself. Be kind to yourself. Be gentle with yourself. Have a piece of chocolate. Now, I didn't say chocolate bar. A piece. Remember, anything in moderation, nothing in excess. Speaking of which, I have to order some. I decided to order from Peapod. This is a wake-up call for any of you guys who are planning to order your groceries online. The earliest I could get delivery is 2 weeks from today, April 4th. Plus, there's still no toilet paper. Plus, there was no pate cat food. I'm going to have to keep checking every day, but I do want to stress to you, if you're going to do it, you better do it and know that even if it's online shopping, it's going to take a while, okay? Yesterday when I was having my bad time, I was like almost at the brink of a panic attack, where I was so tense, and I even as I had to really get back to breathing again. That was my body telling me, stop. You're pushing yourself. And when you notice these things, it's important that you address them, and you come prepared. Girl Scout or Boy Scout, whatever Scouts, be prepared. It's a good idea if you prepare yourself when you're feeling good for when you may not be feeling so positive. So think about that. Want to think about immunization. We're all looking for a vaccine. We're looking for a vaccine for the virus. We need a vaccine that will give us immunity to our own negative thinking. Think about that word, immunity. I always wanted to have my license plate say, IMUNITY. Now, I know the word immunity has 2 M's, but I wanted it to be I'm unity. That's because I gave my life to unity because I love it so much. But if you think about unity being a coming together, wow, coming together of my lower and accepting my lower consciousness as it is transformed by my higher. So you can have immunity from your own negative thinking. One of the things that has come to me so strongly as we've gone through this, when I start to get tense, and yesterday I was almost, by the end of the day, I was so tense that I had a hard time getting back there, is that God is in charge. Think about that picture of planet Earth, the image that the astronauts saw. God is watching us from a distance. God is watching from beyond all of the strife that we are creating. We may be sequestered at the time. We're doing it for a high purpose. Try to remind yourself when you start to feel stressed. Take a deep breath. Remember, when you're taking a deep breath, your mind rests. Take a deep breath and remind yourself, honestly, God is in charge. This has come for a reason. It did not come to punish us. It came to teach us. And one of the things I want to share before I let you go for the day is we've been going through ever-increasing separation, right? We've been separated politically. We've been separated by technology. We've been separated by physical distance. There are so many ways. We've been separated sometimes by ego and our own failure to learn to forgive. You know, one day I learned a forgiveness affirmation that was so powerful. It says that you bring the person you're having an issue with before you. This is a separation. You bring that person before you and you say in your heart and your mind, I forgive you for all real or perceived offenses. And I know you forgive me. You now forgive me for all real or perceived offenses. I think a lot of our offenses are not real. They're perceived. So if you're perceiving someone has offended you, consider the possibility. Then immediately you can come back together. Now, I had in my midst of my fall last night, you know when they talk about the fall of man? It's a fall of consciousness from higher consciousness to lower. When I had my fall, I private messaged my friend and I apologized for being, I deleted the things from her post. And I asked her forgiveness that I was so angry when I responded. And we've been friends for, on to 30 years. Oh my God, we're getting old. For a very long time, let us say. And I said, you know me better than that. And she said, yes, I know you better than that. So that's another thing. Don't ever be afraid. If you find out that you have hurt someone's feelings, you've done something wrong, you can end the separation that created by immediately saying, I was wrong. Nothing will stop an argument faster than saying, I was wrong. Okay? So, getting back to the division, we've been divided in many ways, and now we are actually physically away from each other. We cannot reach out and touch, and boy, we're learning the lesson of how much we mean to each other. And I'm praying that when we come out of this, we will be stronger and healthier and more whole than ever before. I am so glad you joined me this morning. I hope you will join me tomorrow when we start talking about the 4 quadrants of consciousness. And until then, I want you to know that I just love you. I bless you. I appreciate you. And I behold the divinity in you. And for each one of you, especially if anyone who is watching that actually has contracted this thing, I want you to work with me in holding with you, with us, and for us all, that the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, and the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. God bless you. Have a great day. I hope I'll see you tomorrow. Don't forget, if you make comments, I can see those. I can't see who popped in, but if you want to say hi, I'm there. If you forgot, you've got 4 things in the cupboard and you want to know how to make a meal, message me. I may be able to help you. Have a great one. Bye-bye.